Welcome in, everybody. Happy Monday night on the Bleacher Brothers Sports Network. Lastella Report here to close you out 9 p.m. Robbie Lastella aboard with you alongside my co-hosts Christian Proscia, Toby Shulman, joining me to start the week off on the right foot. Christian, Toby, how was the weekend for y'all?
Weekend was good, Robbie. I had a good fourth. Hope you boys had a bit of the same, but my AC just went out last night, so it's been kind of hot here. So just struggling with that. Other than that, it's been good.
Yeah, like Toby said, it was a good weekend. Always a great night on the Lastella Report. Shout out Drew. We miss you, Pookie Bear. Robbie, I got a bone to pick because you literally ended the song mid beat drop. What the heck was that? Let's
I
talk
don't,
about that really quick.
Keep them on
I
their
don't,
toes, Christian.
I don't think the people are ready for the dubstep, the amazing, barely alive beat drop. Not everyone, not everyone's a fan of the EDM subculture. So I tried to throw in like the melodic part with the guitar and the piano, all that good stuff that most people will enjoy. So don't need to let them hear the hardcore because the next part was pretty EDM.
Unlike what they say on Deadpool 2, dubstep is not dead. It is alive and it is kicking. So screw the haters, man. Play that dubstep, baby. You earned it, Robbie. It's your show.
Anyway, boys, yeah. So another week, 4th of July come and gone. No Joey Chestnut this year in the main hot dog eating contest, but he did his own, so that was good to watch. Bucks baseball, as usual, for me, keeping me pretty busy. They were off on the 4th, but we had a couple games this week and today too. PXP stint over the summer coming down to an end. Looking forward to being at the AAC meetings here in a couple of weeks and hopping back on the FAU wave because it's right around the corner. I think Christian tweeted it out yesterday. 6 weeks until football season. Or is that the first home game?
Um, we got We got 9 more Saturdays until our first swag surfing in paradise.
So 8 more weeks until the first game of the season in
So
total.
we ruined Michigan State's season.
Right around the corner. So football season's right around the corner, and jumping into our first FAU related news of the day, we'll start the first half of the show tonight with FAU, and then kick over to some pro topics in the second half. But I've seen a lot of discussion lately on the social media platforms about the possible rebranding of Florida Atlantic from FAU. It's still a little bit weird. I mean, I like to say FAU, but what people have been talking about, in the various FAU circles, they're talking about getting rid of the FAU tagline and trying to become Florida Atlantic and be known only as Florida Atlantic. And I understand both sides of it. With FAU comes the confusion with FIU. And obviously, everyone down here knows the difference between the two. And anyone with, some kind of sports sense should know the difference between FAU and FIU. However, there's a majority of people out there who aren't from this area, and in terms of academia, they don't know sports, they don't know the Shula Bowl. So yeah, FAU, FIU, two pretty good schools from the same area. So that could become confusing for some people. Not me, not most sports fans, not Christian Toby, but for some people out there, and some of those people may have donor money. The FAU is trying to become their own thing with Florida Atlantic. And so I'd be interested to see how the branding develops over time, because there's a lot of things with the U attached to it. It's not like FAU's acronym would become FA. I'm sure they would still, in a condensed version, maybe a list of teams or something, they would still use FAU, but they want to become Florida Atlantic. So I want to ask you guys: do you guys think it's a big deal trying to go from FAU to just becoming a Florida Atlantic? And do you think it's a smart decision? I personally have some opinions on it, but I want to hear what you guys have to say first.
I feel like it just kind of makes it sound weird, especially for the alum and the people who've already gone there. Florida Atlantic sounds cool, but when I tell people I go to FAU, I tell them I go to Florida Atlantic. And that's at least how I said it before we went to the Final Four. And then I feel like it got enough notoriety to the point where I could just say FAU, but I'm not saying Florida Atlantic University. So I don't really know if it makes a big difference. I think branding wise, it's going to be a little weird. But maybe other than just the apparel, the stuff at the bookstore, I mean, that would be an obvious big difference. But I think having a university like tag at the end of your school name makes it sound, more important. I don't know what you guys think, but that's just I don't know if it's too big of a deal, but I think just taking away that university is enough to, I think, remove some kind of emphasis on the school and the university and its academics itself.
Honestly, I could care less because end of the day, I'm still going to be getting the same diploma as you guys, despite probably at that point being Florida Atlantic, as opposed to Robbie, who's at Florida Atlantic University. Listen, there's people that are in college for 7 years. They're doctors, other Christian Pro Show. We know what's going to end up happening. But all I'm going to say is there is no person in their right mind that should ever confuse FAU and FIU because 16-4 all-time record. That's all I got to say. Let's move on. Screw FIU. Y'all suck.
See, so where I'm at with this is I personally I'm not the biggest fan of getting rid of FAU entirely. I still think it should be used in score bugs and stuff like that. And I understand, the wanting to get rid of it altogether, to get rid of any confusion and start new with this Florida Atlantic tagline. But it's a bit of a word jumble, kind of, sort of. I mean, it's only 2 words, but I mean, it's from an announcer's perspective, it's going to be a little tough. And I mean, I know, the people who are in favor of this Florida Atlantic tagline, whenever an announcer is on, TV and I say touchdown FAU or whatever, there's going to be comments that are going to be like, it's Florida Atlantic. We don't use FAU anymore. Da, da, da. Don't give them a hard time because it's much easier to say touchdown FAU Owls, da, 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 to be touchdown Florida Atlantic. Like it's more difficult than the common person realizes. And so I think, they should embrace the FAU aspect of it, but also promote the Florida Atlantic more than the FAU. Obviously, if you want to be known as Florida Atlantic, tell ESPN, yeah, list that as the tagline. Yeah, shirts, whatever. Get rid of FAU, put Florida Atlantic on there. It's going to be a lot of stuff around campus, like the I Heart FAU sign. Just off the top of my head, FAU Stadium is what it's called. So there's going to be some changes. But I personally don't think there is a need to fully rebrand entirely. If you want to promote the Florida Atlantic part of it more, absolutely go ahead and do that. I think that's a choice, and I think that trying to bring awareness to the school in any way possible, and if you think that's the best route, go for it. But I don't want to exclude the FAU part of it entirely because I think it's an important acronym. I think, in various situations, it'll be good for it to be used. So it'll be interesting to see what develops with the entire brand changing, if there's a new logo involved. Right now, I'm a fan. I personally, Christian, you joked about this the other day, but I'm a fan of the old school owl chicken, man. Give me more throwback content with the yellow and the red owl.
We should not do that as football jerseys. Do not listen to what the Giants did because those uniforms are terrible.
It depends, it depends how you color it. Obviously, you don't want that mascot being the forefront of things, but I'm always a fan of alternate throwback stuff. So, you know what? If FAU is going to become the alternate throwback kind of tagline, I'm here for it. I think that will be that'll be something interesting to watch. What are you going to say, Christian?
To piggyback off of something that Toby said a little earlier, I'm very interested to see how this is going to work as far as branding for merchandise.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, our bookstore and Fanatics are filled with a lot of overpriced merch that has FAU splattered all over it. It clearly is prominent, and with them looking to get rid of the FAU tagline or the current owl logo that we have into something different, that's going to take a lot of work. And then there's going to be like, what do we do with the remaining merch? What happens to it? Is that the same stuff that happens to like the losing team Super Bowl merch that everybody jokes about? Like what happens with all the old FAU merch? Does the FIU Shulable merch get mixed in with all the old FAU merch? Because we both know that neither of those are getting sold. So what happens from there?
The money aspect of it is definitely an interesting thing to think about. I mean, you mentioned the merchandise, but that merchandise costs money to produce. And FAU, yeah, they have the brand deal. And then, but they paid money originally for that, so they're gonna have to try to get rid of it. If that's the plan. I mean, nothing is set in stone yet in terms of branding. It's just ideas, hearing rumors, all that good stuff. But if FAU were to do a rebrand, it would cost money, and the merchandise aspect is only one portion of it. I mean, they would have to change the name of the stadium, possibly. You know, with my approach, you keep the FAU stadium, but then you can just do Florida Atlantic, field or whatever you want to do. I don't know. That's not the best option, but you can keep FAU and save some money at the same time in this rebrand. Now, how that money gets saved, I don't know. Because you're going to have to do a lot of advertising now with Florida Atlantic on it. All the stuff that's coming to incoming freshmen, you want that to say Florida Atlantic on it. So there's going to be some money doled out somewhere. But by keeping the FAU tagline in certain places and not going overboard and saying, okay, we need to get rid of everything FAU. It needs to be Florida Atlantic, Florida Atlantic, Florida Atlantic everywhere. You'll save a little bit of money, and you'll be able to keep the kind of alternate tagline of Florida Atlantic University in there. And the university tagline is not the end of the world to me. It's really not. Some people feel really passionately about this stuff. Either way, doesn't really make or break to me. They'll still be the Owls. If they ever change the logo, then and the mascot, then maybe we'll have to have some discussions further. But if they're just going from FAU to Florida Atlantic, not really a big deal. But I do think there's some benefit into keeping the FAU as an alternate of some sort, both in terms of saving money and for the fans, for the announcers, for the people who came here while it was FAU. So there's a balance, and I'm sure they have really smart marketing folks, Rob Rosselli being one of them, that are in charge of this and heading it up. So it'll be interesting to see what develops. And I know the smart people in the office at FAU will make the right decisions. But keep on keeping on with some Owls news. Switching over to baseball a little bit. It's summer league season, so no current FAU games going on. But the Owls are active in the summer league. Emilio Gonzalez was named hitter of the week in the Cal Ripken League. Pulling up his stats here as we speak. But Tyler Murphy, also not player of the week in the SF, a CBL, but another solid outing on the bump for him, allowed one run across 6 innings pitched. He's headed up to the Cape Cod League. Not sure what team just yet, but I think Tyler Murphy will continue the trend of successful SF CBL pitchers going to the Cape League. The next step after that is pros. Just one name off the top, Ryan Yarborough, soft toss and lefty. Different type of game than Murph, but he went SF CBL to pro leagues and to the Cape Cod in between. So there's a bit of a pipeline there, and we'll see how Murphy ends up doing once he goes to the Cape Cod League, because it's a different level of talent up there. But for Emilio Gonzalez, he had for the big train of the Cal Ripken Collegiate Baseball League based out of the DMV. Emilio had 12 hits in 5 games, a pair of extra base hits, and a homer, along with 6 RBIs. So a big week for Emilio. John Schroeder has been productive as well. While he's been at, I believe he's in the MLB Draft League at the moment. Yes, he is. So It's good to see these guys being productive in their respective summer leagues. Schroeder at 244 currently across 15 games, I believe. So he's been productive. Emilio's been productive. T. Murph's been productive. I know Jacob Poletto, along with Dylan Murphy, Tyler's brother, also swinging a hot bat in the SFCBL. Both freshmen committed to FAU baseball. Toby, we talked about the summer league schedules and how these guys kind of work on their games over the summer before. But this is now kind of consistency from these Owls across multiple summer leagues. I mean, I'm sure if we search hard and find, I'm sure we'll find one guy maybe who's struggling a little bit, but everywhere we look, it kind of seems like these Owls are doing well in their respective summer leagues. Do you kind of put any stock into that at all?
Yeah, like we talked about last time. I mean, I for sure put stock in it. I mean, you got to remember these guys just came off like a 60-game regular season for college baseball, so they played a lot of baseball. They traveled a lot, and with no breaks, they went up and played summer league. So the fact that Murphy's going up and playing in the Cape, I mean, like me and you talked about earlier, it'll probably be on the lower end of velocity as what those players are expecting, but I think he'll still get his good innings in. He'll pick up a lot of great mechanics, and the coaching there is going to make him a better player when he comes back down in the spring. So, I mean, I'm excited for him on the mound next year. A guy like Emilio, you expect him to be really good. Historically, we've been good at that first base position. So, I mean, with the success that we've had at those positions recently, I do definitely take a lot of stock into this, as I'm sure you do, because they're playing better competition right now. I mean, the AAC across the board isn't as good of competition as I'm sure a lot of these guys would like to play. It's not ACC, it's not SEC, but it's not terrible. But the Cape League, is the Cal Ripken League, the MLB Draft League. I mean, this is where good players play. So I like to see the productivity, and I definitely taken a lot of stock into it.
Don't knock the SFCBL either, Toby. We got some guys.
I don't even got to mention it. That's how elite that league is.
We got some guys over here. Tyler Murphy in the SFCBL. Folks, if you didn't know, there's good baseball, good college baseball right here in the Palm Beach County area. Boynton Bucks, Delray Beach Blazers, Boca Raton Blazers, and Delray Beach Lightning. All three squads got some FAU players on it. Make sure to check them out. You can find their website, sfcbl.com, and check out the squads. Playoffs coming up around the corner. Tyler Murphy for the Bucks this season pitched in 5 games, went 3-0, 1.38 ERA in 26 innings. He struck out 39 batters to only 8 walks. His most recent start on July 5th, 1-2 loss. He picked up the no decision in that one. Tough one, but Tyler's been the ace of this squad so far this season for the for the Owls, for the Bucks. And so I'm looking forward to seeing what he does in the Cape. And yeah, Toby, we mentioned the velo. He's not coming out there blowing you by with 97, 98. He's more 92, 93, but he's locating right now. And that is really where he is making his money. As we mentioned, he's got the 39 strikeouts to only 8 walks in 26 innings. It's pretty productive. And 3 of those walks came in his last start. And that was a season high. So, he's been very good at locating. And I think going into next season, if he can capitalize on the location, especially while he's in the Cape, I think he's going to be he's borderline pro material for me right now. Another good season at FAU. I think T. Murph is a guy that could be another pro Owl at the pitching position. We have a couple in the pros as well. So I'm liking what I'm seeing from the Owls across the various collegiate leagues, and hopefully they keep it up. I'll try to keep everyone updated on social media. Obviously, Tyler's leaving the Bucks, but if I see any more Owls making some noise in the SFCBL, Carter Brady always seems to have a monster game against my squad, the Bucks. Carter Brady playing for the Palm Beach Extreme. He's had 2 home runs, both on the season, both against my Bucks. So very productive hitter, upper 300 hitter as well. Carter Brady coming back to the Owls next season. So fun stuff in the baseball world with the Owls. Make sure to follow them along in their various collegiate leagues. But keep on keeping on here with the FAU news. Moving into football a little bit before our 9:30 break here. Owls, FAU recently, at least for football, I've noticed, I've seen a lot of various season ticket package deals, and I think it's an awesome idea to try to get people in there. Right now, it's summer; it's dead season. Today, for example, just $75 gets you season tickets plus an awesome beach towel from FAU Football on X. So anyone, if you all you got to do is buy your season tickets by August 1st, and you get a winning in paradise a beach towel. And anyone who's already purchased season tickets will receive the gift. And if I saw a recent deal for grads, it was $50 for recent grads to get to get season tickets. So I am a fan of these deals, but I'm a bit concerned because the attendance has been an issue for the Owls now for a couple of years, probably since the Kiffin era, but really all time. I mean, it's not just an FAU thing; it's a South Florida sports thing. It's tough to fill up the stadium, especially if the team is not putting out, ridiculously high bar seasons. Florida fans can be very temperamental, and so I'm curious, Christian, Toby. Obviously, these deals are a good way, friendly for the budget. But how do they kind of promote these games in a way to make people want to spend at least the 75 to come and see all these games? Because obviously it's a good deal, but it's still a struggle to fill these seats. So, what are the Owls missing outside of a bowl game and a good 10, 10, 8 to 10 win season to try to fill these seats?
Christian.
Um, I personally think, like you said, attendance has been an issue since the Kiffin era. Obviously, having to sit through 3 to 4 years of Willie Taggart football has that effect on a program because, oh my God, that sucked. But yeah, so I think that give people, I say it all the time, give South Florida fans a reason to show up, and they will. Like you said, Robbie, if you are trash, you are not going to get attendance. Look at the Marlins. The Marlins lobbied so hard to try to get attendance that they were trying to break a world record in order to make that happen. The only world record that the Marlins are hitting is just the least amount of fans in a season for an entire pro sports season. But anyway, enough about that. So yeah, you got to do promotionals, and like you said, I like the towel idea. I like the discount because my parents bought season tickets, so I'm happy that they got a little bit of a discount. But I 50 to $75 is just crazy to me because like once again, that's like mid 2010s Dolphins ticket, like season tickets. Like I'm thinking about Ryan Tannehill level football, or for you as a Giants fan, any Sunday watching Daniel Jones. That
Mike
has
Lennon starting era.
yeah, yeah. Like back in the dark days, I remember me and my dad both bought two field level tickets to a Dolphins Jags game in 2013 for a combined $12. Like we paid more to park than we did to actually be there. And that's what FAU is going to get accused of, and that's what we're getting accused of is not having fans. And it's true because once again, give people a reason to show up and they will. I don't want to waste my time watching terrible sports. Why do you think I don't go to Marlins games? Like when the Heat have down years, they don't get people turning up. Before the Panthers won the Stanley, like 3 years ago, the Panthers didn't have really good attendance. Ron Johnson with the comment of the year, you could probably get that for the price of a Giants game. Like that's true. Like you're lucky to be getting a deal on SeatGeek with a promotional code for $70 to one ticket to like a Dolphins game now, a Heat game, or Inter Miami. Like people are breaking their necks for these money, and then here's FAU who's like begging people, please come out. And I think it's honestly sad, but produce on the field and you'll produce in the stands.
Yeah, I got nothing to add. I
Yeah.
mean, bottom line, just win. When you win, they'll start showing up. So I mean, you can have all of the promotions in the world, like the Marlins do, like the whole like it's a party at Lone Depot. Like it's not a party at Lone Depot. Like you're
It's a
selling
pity party.
Park at the Park is still the best promotional of all time. Bring the
If we
dogs.
did that every
Yes,
game, we might pack out the stadium.
yeah,
Honestly,
yes, but the only thing with that dog in him is in the stands. There's no dog on the field. It's just dog crap.
you hope it translates from the stands to the field then. But
Bark in the Park still is my favorite promotional thing. But with FAU, honestly, the Tri County recruiting thing in football, it's working. Like we've talked, we're not going to spend hours talking about that again. We've talked about it before. Tri County recruiting is working in football. Now, hear me out. You want to try to build up young fans in the area. You want to try to build up any fans in the area. Let's promote to the local middle schools. Let's promote to the local high schools. Let's promote the elementary schools. Bring fans in while they're still trying to find their teams, and build in a grassroots type of fandom. Obviously, FAU invites the schools out. They might have a special week for it. I don't remember off the top of my head, but doing that consistently, bringing in a different school every single week to sit end zone, and I'm not just talking about Mrs. Hurley's 8th grade class. I'm talking about like the whole school. Like anyone who wants to go can go, and
I miss early, bro.
it's Advent Lutheran night. It's St. John Paul night. It's Boca High night. And that's just shout out to I'm from the area. Shout out to my two schools, Advent Lutheran, St. John Paul. But you know what I mean. Like any of those schools, bring them in, and try to promote the fan base to them, and like make them say you guys are going to be our grassroots fans right here. And I think that's a possible way to try to like create fans. Like obviously selling tickets, whatever, you get the local guy who moved down here from New York, no college football up in New York. So yeah, I'll become an Owls fan. Why not? I'll root for him next to Miami. Those aren't the type of fans you want to bring in, like in my opinion, the guys who aren't committed to it. I personally think getting fans in while they're young is the easiest option for the Owls. And I think it may seem kind of dumb having a rowdy section behind the end zone of just elementary school kids, high school kids, but when those kids grow up in 4-6 years, they're going to be your most loud fan base on social media, in the stadium, wherever you want them. So just some food for thought on how the Owls could try to possibly build out that crowd quicker than the season's right around the corner, and they still need to sell season tickets. So it's just something they could do.
I totally agree, Rob, and that's definitely something of getting the youth football involved, because we have some, like, we all talk about how there's great football in the high school level, but that all starts from the feeder programs growing up. Getting Delray Rocks out there, getting the WCFL leagues out there, getting all of these youth elementary school footballs out here, and dang, like, have them run gassers at the end of the game, like escort them out at halftime. And it's, yeah, like how kids can run the bases at the baseball games. Yeah, your kid can run 100 yards back and forth a couple of times, and guess what? They're now tired out for the remainder of the game. Let them run gassers during halftime. Just don't do it while the Fly Girls are dancing, because our friend Brooke Wilkins may get trampled by a third grader. But just do whatever you can. A heritage night would be great. A tri-county takeover night would be great. And it's, you invite all of the schools. Like, it doesn't matter. Or 3 home games. Boom. Palm Beach night, Dade County night, Broward night. Get all of these all the schools, the elementaries, the middles, and the highs, and really just boost it up and get all these schools out here. And I love the idea. And I hope somebody in marketing is watching, probably, because Rob is an avid Bleacher Brothers fan. He loves what we do. So shout out, Rob. We love you too, bro. But
Not me. Rob Rosselli from FAU Marketing, great guy.
yeah, we kind of like this Rob. We like that Rob better. But yeah, like let's get on it, because I think a heritage night would be pretty awesome, and get specialized T-shirts where like how the Marlins every couple weeks are doing like all these like city or country heritage islands jerseys. Do that with like T-shirts like Palm Beach County Strong or something with like an FAU logo on it. Boom, easy. You got kids in high school. There's your lifting shirts. All the little kids, it's, oh, I could wear this to school. Me, I'd probably wear it every day because Palm Beach County for life. Like,
Yeah.
Like that's some stuff that we need. We need to really buy into our community's heritage, and I think that's a great idea.
Just some food for thought here. Just past 9:30 on the Bleacher Brothers Sports Network. One last quick note to hit on before a quick break. John Mitchell, former Owls wide receiver, is on the Bachelor show. I don't know the name of it, to be honest, but
Bachelor party?
yeah, I think it's Bachelorette because like they're all for the girl. Bachelor is for the guy. But yeah, he's on that ABC show, the one that Tyler Cameron was on a couple of years ago. That's two owls now on a big time dating show. That's good. That's good promotion, both for the area as a whole. I personally love watching any TV show, and I see, oh, that guy's from Palm Beach County. I'm 4 on 561, baby. So that's pretty cool stuff, and it's a new market that FAU is reaching out to, right? The people who watch that show, probably my mom, and my mom's friends. So that demographic of people who may not necessarily be dialed into FAU football. They are dialed into the Bachelorette, so maybe they hear a story from John Mitchell if they didn't already, from Tyler Cameron, and tune into some Owls games next season. Maybe buy season tickets as well. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows how far just a little bit of promotion will go.
I'll be the third owl to be on The Bachelorette, everybody. So stay tuned for that because I am single. So let's get me on the show, ladies.
Yeah, sip the water. 9:33 here on the Bleacher Brothers Sports Network. Stay right with us, folks. We'll be right back. When we come back, me and Toby talking some baseball. Christian will be here too, but I don't think he likes to talk about baseball. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. 9:35 here on the Bleacher Brothers Sports Network. If you were wondering what that noise was, that is what I withheld from everybody in the intro segment. But Christian was so curious to hear the next part, I had to show y'all the beat drop that I told y'all most people wouldn't like, but Christian was like, no, play it. So I'm sorry if you're not a fan, but I am a fan of Barely Alive. Great DJ. Recommend checking him out if you're a fan of.
I stand by my decision to play it, though. That was hilarious.
That was good content.
But switching over to some pro sports talk with Toby here, and maybe Christian if he wants to chime in. But it's almost All Star time here in the MLB season, and before we get into the All Stars, me and Toby, we are Yankees followers. They're in a bit of a slump right now. Lost 3-0 yesterday to the 3-0 yesterday to the Sox. Lost that series, I believe, 2-1. They haven't won a series in I think like a month or something like that.
It's been 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's almost a month since they won a series, so it's been a minute for the Yankees. Toby, what is going on, and are we concerned?
We're definitely concerned right now. I mean, this was something where we were like, oh, it's just a slump like 2 weeks ago maybe, but now we're looking at legitimate panic right now. We're 3 games out from the Orioles. Only positive about this skid is we can't lose today because we don't play today. That's the only positive I can say about this team right now. And, Ben Rice is absolutely amazing for this team. So there's some positives to take away. But, I mean, ultimately the pitching just didn't hold up the last couple of weeks. The bullpen's got no depth. We have no depth around the field. It's tough. It's really tough right now. It's like honestly watching the Marlins. It's really just disappointing. It's just disappointment after disappointment. The starters started to pick it up a little bit in the last couple of series. Yeah, thank you, Christian. Thanks.
Go Fish.
No.
Yeah, starters picked it up. Hill looked really good last night against the Red Sox. Rodon didn't look terrible. Nestor pitched really well. Just some great hitters on Boston. Cole looked decent. Not great, honestly, but he's still coming back from injury. So they got to make moves like now. And if they don't, Boone's future, Cashman's future could be in the hot seat for the Yankees. So, I mean, not looking good in the Bronx.
We've been saying Boone. I mean, at least I've been saying. I don't know about you, but I've been feeling Boone's been on the red hot seat now for a couple years, maybe 2 years now, since the big season with Judge a couple years ago. And it just kind of seems like mediocrity, which some franchises are all right with that, but the Yankees, it's not normally okay. So we'll see if Hal makes a move. And making a move at this time of the year is not cheap. Especially the Yankees, not really in the need of a starter at the moment. But if they were to try to go out and get bullpen help, which definitely right now, possibly something they could target. Clay is an all-star on the squad, but he's been struggling lately, and I feel like he could use some arms in front of him to kind of try to numb him down a little bit before they get to him, because it just kind of seems like the Yankees bullpen at the moment is scrapping clawing to get to Clay, and as we saw the other night, it just Clay got. That's the best way to describe it. And he's a really good pitcher in his own right, but when he gets got whatever you want to call it, he loses it. And so I personally think that that's what I'm not sure. The trade market is dry. The Yankees, obviously, they have some prospects. They would be out of their minds to trade Yason, but I don't know. Do they try to make a move at the deadline? I think it's too much money, and at that point, I think they bring up Dominguez like they've done with Ben Rice, and then they're able to all of a sudden have two prospects on the squad that are hitting well, kind of like way back when it was the Baby Bombers with Tyler Austin and Aaron Judge having an insane rookie year and Greg Bird, like that Yankee squad. Like when the young guns are cooking, I think that's the way to success. I mean, we've seen them try to make these moves at the deadline, and it rarely works out. It rarely works out, in my opinion. And so I think they bring up Dominguez. Maybe ever since Pereira. Okay, what's the word on him?
He's out for the season.
Oh, okay, no. So no Everson. He's not all right. Hopefully he gets all right. But yeah, like a guy like Yason, there's guys like Ben Rice that in the Yankees farm system that potentially could be options for them going forward. So shifting more over to more MLB news. A 17-year-old high school student snagged James Wood's first home run ever. And obviously he was in the right spot, right time. And so as soon as he snagged that baseball, national security brought him up to the private area or wherever, and they were like, "All right, kid, what do you want for it?" Kid gave him his demands. They took the baseball from him. The kid gave him the baseball without getting anything that he wanted. Like, it was right then and there. They took the baseball. He went back to his seat. He gave him his list of demands. I think he wanted a bat, whatever. And so nothing happens. Game goes on. Kid, I don't know what he's thinking in the moment. I would be like, did I just get like screwed out of like a baseball bat? Like, what did I just do? Like, I'm out of possession of the baseball. Game is going on. I'm back in my regular seat. No special treatment. I'm like, I'd be like freaking out. But eventually the Nationals do get him right. They get him a picture with James Wood. They get him a signed bat. They get him tickets to a game of his choice. I believe Darren Rovell valued the baseball at $5,000 at the moment, but should James Wood go on to be a Hall of Famer, the baseball jumps to $150,000 worth. So I'm curious, do you guys think anyone who catches a home run ball should get what they want in terms of ransom? Do you think that if they don't get what they want, should they keep the baseball? Like, there's some. I personally think that you're in a ballpark. If you get the baseball, yeah, you're lucky. But I think each team needs to have policies for everything. There's a policy literally for anything under the sun in all of these ballparks. They need a policy for what happens if you catch a rookie's first home run ball, and I think that solves any of these issues. But what's the right way to go about it, Toby?
I mean, this is just my opinion, and this might sound a little odd, like the way it's coming out, but this is all dependent on how you're raised. Like, if you're raised trying to get like whatever you can get out of the most little thing, like you're gonna be the most greedy person ever and ask for like tickets, bats, autographs, like meeting the whole team, club tours, whatever you want. But I mean, if you're a big leaguer, you hit your first home run ever, like you're kind of entitled to that ball, honestly. So get something out of it. Maybe like a meet the player, take a pic, get some season tickets for the Nationals, especially. I mean, that shouldn't even be that big of a deal. They're not good enough to really bargain with someone to just say the fact they gave him one like ticket's kind of ridiculous to me. I would have wanted season tickets out of that, but I mean, if you're greedy, you're gonna be greedy. But I think the player's entitled to the ball. Maybe get some tickets out of it, but I mean, other than that, like the kid deserves it. Like he hit a home run in the big leagues. Like I would want the ball too. So don't go crazy.
So Toby's moral high ground comment would have just made what I was about to say look terrible, which was something along the lines of it could literally have been the first pitch of the game. And if I would have caught that ball, I probably would have ran out of the stadium. So,
Then you're
I would like to strike that possible comment from the record and agree with Toby to raise your kids right and be a good Samaritan. Don't be like my intrusive thoughts and sprint out of that stadium. But hey, you would have beat the traffic. So
Probably.
yeah, you definitely would have beat the traffic. But
I mean, Christian, you may turn you should go talk to Zach Hampel. I think you and him would be best buddies. He's like he's the guy who goes around and catches all those home run balls, steals them away from children, like the whole.
I wouldn't do that. If a little kid catches it, congrats, buddy. That's all you. Like I've given foul balls and home runs. I've given them to kids. No, I do. I swear. I promise.
Don't want to hear it, bro.
I promise. But
yeah, okay.
Christian was just saying how he's going to run out of the stadium, and then I bring up his perfect pro comp and Zach Hampel, and all of a sudden he's the good guy now, Toby. He's got a moral high ground. He's ready.
Hey, Zach Hampel puts up numbers, dude. Christian, I wouldn't even be mad about it. If you're going to be like that, you got to own it, bro.
No, it was intrusive thoughts only. But listen, like if remember when the Marlins were counting like, oh, how many more hits until Ichiro hits 3,000? Or like growing up, like if Stanton would have broken the record and if I would have caught that, I am not giving that either of those balls up. Like as a little kid, there's not a chance in the hell. Like, yeah, I have Giancarlo Stanton's, what was it, 62nd, I think it was, home run ball. I'm not giving that up.
What if you got to meet him, though, to give it to him, and then you're the guy who caught the ball and you got to meet? No,
because then I'm in a TikTok of where is this little kid now? 10 years later, Like, I don't want that. I want the ball.
I got you beat, Christian. I got a signed baseball from Ozzie Guillen, a legendary White Sox manager.
I've got you beat. I got a ball signed by Jose Fernandez a week before the boating accident.
Ozzie Guillen's better. I'm sorry.
Nope.
I think I got you all beat with Don Mattingly, but
Nope.
Don Mattingly's pretty good.
Rip Jose Fernandez. I win. Next segment because I
No, I
signed
agree.
Last baseball topic here with
Please no more
Toby.
baseball. I'm so bored.
Christian, I told y'all Christian doesn't like baseball. We had a baseball segment on tap tonight, and he is gonna sit through it. We'll get to you. Christian's got a training camp segment here up next, but real quick, Toby, so Christian doesn't rage quit on us. We talked at some all-star snubs a little bit. I'm looking at some of these names here. Yeah, I mean Francisco Lindor has how many all-star games has he made? Maybe two, one or two.
No, he hasn't made one in a while because they put Perdomo from the Diamondbacks in there last year instead of him. So he got screwed again.
And over an injured Mookie, yeah. I mean, I agree with Is there anyone else that really jumps out to you that should have made this squad? I mean, a lot of these guys should have made the squad, but who stands out the most?
I've got like two just that really stand out to me. Christian Walker being the biggest snub of the entire bunch. I don't think that's much of a debate. He's been probably the best player on the Diamondbacks this entire season, one of the best defensive first basemen in the league for the last few years now. He's hitting near 270, 853 OPS. He's hitting well above league average when you look at OPS plus. And 763 chances defensively, 2 errors. So he has a 997 fielding percentage as well. He's one of the most valuable pieces in the league for this Diamondbacks team, and I don't think that's realized at all, which is shocking considering they played in the World Series last year. But, I mean, that's the biggest name for me. More under-the-radar name, Robbie. I don't know if you've been keeping up with the Brewers too much, but Bryce Terang's been amazing for them. He's hitting 288, 114 OPS plus, which, keep in mind, Luis Ariz has worse stats at the same position.
And he made it.
I hate the fact that he made it, if I'm being totally honest, but if Baseball Reference is right, he's got a 4 WAR right now, so he'd be up there with among the leaders, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. He's got almost 30 stolen bases already. So, I mean, I've got no issue with guys like C.J. Abrams making it. He's having a great year, but, I mean, Ariz just got in for his average, man. So, I mean, I don't understand how Terang got left off.
I feel like Arias is a bit of a legacy pick. I mean, he made the squad last year. He had the big year last year. Had a decent start to this year's. Kind of still keeping it up, but down a little bit since he's went to the Padres. So, yeah, I agree. I see. I think Terang should have probably made the squad over him. You asked if I keep up with the Brewers. No, I do not. But I did see they picked up Dallas Keuchel, and I think that is an interesting way of going about the shortage of pitching that's available. They didn't have the money to go out and get a top-of-the-line starter, so they go out and they get Dallas Keuchel from the depths of the earth, and he goes out there and he's been playing some solid baseball. Picked up his first win against the Rockies, I believe, last week, and so I'm not sure what he's done this week. I think he's got another start due up soon, but I like that move. I like thinking outside of the box. You know, starters are too expensive. Go out and unearth a veteran. So, yeah, I think the Brewers are an interesting squad for sure. But a couple of snubs in terms of all stars. I personally don't think Clay Holmes should have been an all star for the Yankees.
No, I agree.
But hey, you know what? A lot of these guys are legacy guys.
Who?
Reliever Tanner Scott.
Tanner Scott's elite too.
He's
Does
elite.
he suck?
No, he won't be on the team by the end of the month. So that should tell
let's go, Marlins legend Tanner Scott. Let's go, fish.
Then get ready for top prospect Noble Meyer to get moved at the deadline too. So enjoy.
No, he'll probably just blow out his UCL.
Whoa! I don't want to wish
every
that.
Marlins pitcher does.
I don't want to wish that on him. He's like he looks like he's 12. He's
most pitchers do, to be honest. Like you guys get stud pitchers too. So I mean, it's no wonder that you know they have a bit of ailments.
Yeah, sorry, I just brought up a statistic. Every good Marlins pitcher is hurt right now.
Yeah, where are you getting that stat from?
Unfortunately, watching the games at the beginning of the year. What?
July, man.
What's the one dude? Oh my God, what's his name? He's so trash, but the Marlins keep throwing him out there. He's got like a 1 in 50 record, and he's a starter. He's so bad.
And
Christian said he
I'm
didn't
not.
want to talk
Local kid,
baseball.
too. He's a local kid too. Oh my god.
It's not Luzardo.
No. I remember at the beginning of the year when the MLB staff, like on opening night, they were going, "Who's your dark horse Cy Young?" And they're like, "Jesus Luzardo." I'm like, he's gonna have 2 wins on the entire year.
Chill. You talking about I'm trying to figure it out right now. Are you talking about like Ryan Weathers or something?
No, he's decent.
Garrett?
I'm trying to remember his name.
Oh, dude, is that AJ Puck Bump Day?
AJ Puck Bump Day is the home run derby, but no.
Mr. Over.
Yeah, Trevor Rogers.
Oh, dude, he was like an all-star a couple years ago.
Trash.
He was an all-star, like Toby said. He was pretty good a couple years ago.
Trash. Anyway,
Yeah, winding down here on the Bleacher Brothers Sports Network. Christian's got his Dolphins background. Training camps underway soon, I believe. Christian, what's the word on minicamp, training camp season due up?
yes, sir. We are finally back in the NFL season, ladies and gentlemen. July 28th kicks off Miami Dolphins training camp. Unfortunately, Drew's not on the show because he would be just as happy about this as I am, because you two are unfortunately Eastern New York, New Jersey fans. So yeah, you guys aren't used to watching good football. But yeah, Dolphins training camp begins July 28th. And we've got multiple practices. I secured tickets to every day of training camp. So I expect me and Robbie to be out there in the blistering heat at Dolphins training camp. So much fun. We've got a couple joint practices with the Falcons, which I'd like to headline. And then we end off training camp with a joint practice with Washington. So Dolphins fans, you get to see Bijan Robinson live, and Drake London live, and Kirk Cousins and Michael Penix live down in Hard Rock for the second year in a row. The Falcons did take a quick trip down to Miami last year. And you get to see Jaden Daniels and everybody else that's on Washington. Don't ask me any other player on Washington. Actually, Christian McCaffrey's brother. But yeah, those two and a bunch of other Ducks will be making an appearance to end training camp on August 15th, Thursday, August 15th. So those are two headline practices. We also have on Saturday, August 3rd, a scrimmage down at Hard Rock. So I think it's going to be an inter squad scrimmage like they did last year. It should be a lot of fun. Hopefully this year it doesn't rain out within a drive and a half like it did last year. Not fun. My biggest headline going into this year is going to be how active is Tua going to be during camp, because Tua is still one of the only notable quarterbacks in the league that hasn't gotten a mind-boggling level contract. Like, there's bums that are getting contracts, but Tua still hasn't gotten his yet. Will he go market value? Will he go under, or will he set a new status quo? That remains to be seen. And then my biggest one will be the development of first rounder Chop Robinson in a very loaded edge rusher room. Chop. A very loaded edge rusher room filled with rehabbing Bradley Chubb and Jalen Phillips. So those guys both coming off of an ACL injury and an Achilles injury, both of them with season enders last year. They're still rehabbing. I think Chop will get a very high snap count during the preseason, and especially the first couple weeks of the season. Not really trying to rush the old, very injury-prone vets, both of them very injury-prone, back into it. So I really love Miami's edge depth, and I think that is going to be something that's going to be a force to be reckoned with this year. Stop laughing, Toby.
Not saying anything.
You're thinking something.
All right.
But I'd also like to shout out our very own Jaquan Burton, who is still with the Dolphins. I'm very excited to see him in practice. That's going to be one that's going to be really fun. Me and him have been in contact for the past couple weeks still, because we've known each other forever. So I'm really excited to see him in practice. It's gonna be feel really surreal seeing him with that beautiful Dolphins logo that's right on Mike McDaniel's chest, right there. I took that picture, guys. Just want to say. Um, and then, yeah, Devon Achan is poised for another elite season at running back. He's we might do a fantasy football league this year, so I don't really want to spill all the crown jewels, but Devon Achane is a guy that I am heavily targeting in this year's drafts because he's going to get an increased snap count. Hopefully, he's less injury prone than last year, and you saw what he could do in the very limited snap count he had last year.
I'm interested to see what's up. I liked Devin Achane last year. The Dolphins running back by committee was fun to watch at certain points. Even a guy like Salvin Ahmed was fun to watch in his limited snaps he got. So I personally think the Dolphins are in for a fun season, possibly a good season. But there's some contract rumors with Tyreek and stuff like that looms a little bit. He just saw Jalen get a new contract, so we'll see if that kind of lingers at all into training camp and beyond. But something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, and the Dolphins are still looking to redo or to extend Tua, Jalen Phillips, and Javon Holland, while also allegedly be interested in restructuring Tyreek. If you look at the contract numbers on Jalen Waddle's recent extension, first off, shout out to the Dolphins once again for the masterclass of getting Jalen Waddle re-signed and then the wide receiver market getting blown up within 2 days. So shout out to that. Thank you, Justin Jefferson, for absolutely nuking the wide receiver market. But the overwhelming majority of Jalen Waddle's contract is backloaded. I think that's going to really open up the keys to success down the line. And then something that Tyreek has said multiple times throughout the offseason is, I don't care about a contract restructure. I care about getting another ring. He's more worried about helping this team win than getting paid. Also, congratulations, Tyreek. He recently just announced that him and his wife are expecting a baby girl. So congratulations to the Hill family.
Yeah. Good stuff indeed, Christian. And winding down here, though, on the Bleacher Brothers Sports Network, 9:58 p.m. here. Just a few quick notes. NCAA game set to come out next Monday. I'm a big fan of that whole series, everything that's come out so far. Only thing I don't like is the fact that the coaches aren't in the game. I would have loved to actually play, run with Tom Herman, have him rebuilding the Owls, but we got Griffin Murphy, former Patriots legend on Madden 25, taking over the reins of my teams. So Griffin coming over to the NCAA franchises for me. If you know who that is, you played a decent amount of video games, you're my type of person. But yeah, NCAA out next week. Looking forward to that one. Me, Christian, Toby, Drew will all have some content for you. Hopefully, maybe even a Bleacher Brothers league. And then in the NBA, Bronny James had a rough first appearance. Now he's injured. Tough first start for him. I mean, that as a rookie, to have a bad game and then be injured, tough start. We'll see how he bounces back. Lakers have a solid summer league team with him, Colin Castellon, and Dalton Connect. So we'll see how quickly he gets back. We'll see if the Lakers even rush him back. And the Heat making no moves. Yeah, they just re-signed Hayward Highsmith today. 2 years, $11 million for Haywood. But they miss out on DeMar DeRozan and Donovan Mitchell. DeRozan picked between the Kings and the Heat and ultimately chose the Kings. So
we've got Khalil Ware. I don't care.
Khalil Ware.
Your NBA logo, Khalil Ware, is putting the Summer League on a tear. We finally have our five. But
we found our Lord and Savior, Khalil Ware.
He seems like he'll be a solid complement to Bam Adebayo down low for sure. Maybe a second stringer for the Heat. I'm still on my baseball league, ready to get back at it, folks. It's 10 o'clock here on the Bleacher Brothers Sports Network. That's all we got for you tonight, folks. If you missed the first half of the show, we talk everything FAU for you. FAU baseball players tearing up the summer league, some rebranding rumors, some season ticket thoughts, and more in the first half of the show. Second half, catch some baseball notes from me and Toby, some Marlins hate from Christian, some training camp news as well from CP. So thank you guys, everybody, for tuning in. I appreciate everyone, as usual, tuning in to the show. Means the world to me. Toby, Christian, thank you guys for hopping on. And that's all we got for you folks. We'll see you on Wednesday night back in action with another show. So, guys, once again, thank you so much for tuning in to the Lastella Report. I'm Robbie Lastella for Toby and Christian. We'll see you on Wednesday.